Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And today we're going to be doing the organizing series for Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Now this is the core box. The best part about this organization is it fits all the cards of a single campaign at a time. So if you don't know, Tainted Grail has multiple campaigns. They have the Fall of Avalon, there's the Red Death, I believe, Last Night. I don't remember their names, but each of them has their own set of cards, heroes, some have additional encounters, and they all fit using the same organizational matter, but you only need to have one in at a time, which is super nice, seeing as you're only going to be using the cards and the locations for that specific campaign. So this is for getting the game set up pretty quickly and easily, and while you're playing, being able to access everything in a timely manner. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see at the beginning, we do have a little bit of lid lift at the bottom. We got about 1.5 inches again, and you'll see quickly why that is. That's because, as you can see at the top, we've got our rule book, and right below we actually will have a binder. Now I do put a tiny piece of foam in here just to keep the page up a little bit. It makes it so that the box stays flat when it's presented. It's just for appearances, you definitely don't need it. But inside the binder here, it's a small 3-ring binder. You can get these at off Amazon or Costco for a very cheap price. You can get about 10 of them for $10, something like that. I've printed out a page in the front just to show it's Tainted Grail. Inside you can see the different upgraded cards for the 3rd tier of each trait. So you can get the, I forget what they are, like cunning and whatnot, but each of the traits upgrade cards. And then you have the secret cards here as well. Each of them is protected. That way you can make sure that you're spoiler free. No, just don't look on this side. I will go ahead and skip that for right now. But these pages that I use, they are coin collecting pages. They're used often for games like Kingdom Death Monster to store the small cards, but they work well for the small cards in general for a lot of games with these tiny cards. So they work nicely. You can fit 12 cards on a page, and they're double-sided. So it depends how you want to use it. I'm going to go ahead and skip so you don't get any spoilers, but if you continue, on this next side, you have the ability cards that you get from the expansion, where each character has a story that kind of plays out, little achievements, little ability cards that you can get. They're one-time abilities that you can earn throughout the game. As you keep on going, each character has their own set of 3 cards as you play. And then after you have unlocked all 3 cards for your character, you unlock an advanced ability, and that's what these are down here. So you have those advanced abilities for each character as well. After that, you have the letters for the first campaign for each character. That way you can simply pull them out. These are in little pocket protectors here. That way they're easy to attach, give, and you can write on them if you want on dry erase without damaging the paper itself. You got a map of Avalon, and then you have the player sheets themselves for the different characters, as well as the status guide. This is basically your campaign tracker and the save sheets. So that's all that's in the binder portion. Most of this is, the big thing is these skill cards and these secrets. You're going to be diving in that to a lot, and it's better to just know which page to turn to as opposed to having to sift to find the exact secret or ability you want. It's also easy to look at a splay of all the abilities without having to rifle through the cards. So that's the binder for Tainted Grail. The next thing here on the left, it fits perfectly. This is I'm going to shout out again to Dollar Tree. They're fantastic for organization purposes. This is, once again, go figure, $1. But you have an area where all of the resource markers are kept. You have an area here where all of the dials are kept. And then for miscellaneous goods, these are like time markers, the dice, status condition markers, the rune stones from the expansion. It's kind of up to you what you need to put in here. But the big thing is just a nice tray. You can pull these up pretty easily from. It's easy to pick up and just simply set on the table. You're good to go. Next piece here, we've got the characters that you're using, so you'll keep all their trays together. You'll keep the Book of Memories. This is for those extra experiences. You have that extra experience sheet here, any status conditions you've got there. If you keep going, you have room for a pencil. Like usual, this game, you'll be writing stuff down, keeping track, notes. You've got the exploration journal for the campaign. You've got all the character sheets that fit nicely in here. You've got room for the characters you're not using and the side over here. And then you go into the actual tray. Now, if you'll notice, right off the bat, right on the top, kind of loosely, you can slide these in with your current campaign cards on the left, but on the top here, you've got the characters. Now, I've cut most of this miniature padding out because a lot of it was to cover the small ability cards, and you don't really need those when you're setting up like this. So you've got the small characters here. It's cut out so that they're still protected, but they're easy to pull out. Next, on the right side here, there's enough room as to hold all of the menhirs and the Watcher. I forget his name in particular, but you have the character from the story that kind of, it's one of the guardians of the island. You put him there. And then you have the 3 menhirs on the right, easily accessible. We're not plucking them in and out, and they do fit really nicely on the side there. So those 3 men here on the side. In this section here, you're going to have the encounter cards, or the location cards. So these are the stats, help symbols. You've got the locations themselves, and so you'll simply pull that out, and that'll be a stack that you go through during the game. And here I have this tiny little tray. This is actually from a anything will do that's a tiny little box like so. You can use the lid of an expansion. You can use this one in particular is actually a lid from, what is it? Wrapping paper, I think? But it works, it does its job. It holds the item. If you have anything else that can hold cards like this, you can use that instead. I put the current chapter in here as well, just so that it's easy to transfer from game to game. Underneath, you have the Companions expansion. So these are just the minis for the Companions, Badgers and a little Porker, things like that. On the left side here, you have the encounter cards. And these are the encounter cards you're using. You can switch them out if need be. But you have all the different encounter cards here. And once again, you simply just pull it out and stack it on the board. And then you've got the current cards that you are using. So each character, this is in particular, if you're playing a solo game, this is for one of the characters. You can slide all their cards that you're using. There is room if you want to get the deck boxes from Etherfields. I'm just using it because I happen to have a couple that are not being used. So you can use whatever you'd like. You can stack as need be. They don't need to be in a fancy deck box. You can simply put them in front of the encounter cards, but that will fit nicely there. And then as you see here, I have cut the card container and put it reversed and pressed it to the side in order to fit the rest of the cards here. Now do notice this copy is entirely sleeved. So those of you who sleeved your collection, you'll notice that all the cards don't nicely fit into these containers, and that's okay, that's what this is for. In this section here, you have the different upgrade cards for the different characters. Once again, each campaign you'll be using different characters, but you could put each character has its own specific area for those upgrade cards. So like this, these are maggots, these are revs, you've got Bjor over here, and then you've got Nyam, and then you have a rev over here. After that, you go into this main tray, and this main tray is going to be separated. You've got a small, tiny divider here, and in there you can put any expansions. So this is the Forever Autumn expansion, if you want to use that. Just slide that in there. You've also got the chapters on this right side of the divider. So there's that little space to hold the cards, but you'll be putting all of the chapters and the random events here. It's easy to go in and simply pull out those random events. That way you're ready to use them during the round, and the rest of the chapter information is there too, for when you're ready to move on from chapter to chapter. And then on the left side, you have the remaining upgrade cards for the different colors and the starting decks. So if you are using a specific color, if you're using Bjorn, you'll use the blue cards and his associated advancements for combat and diplomacy. So all the starting cards and the attack cards are in here. Same thing with green. All of that is in this section here. So you can go ahead and grab that. So this is set up for a solo game. I'm currently learning how to play this game. So that's where this comes in. So this is my setup here for Tainted Grail. Now, once again, we'll go ahead and put it back. That way you can see. So we have the character cards here. We have the chapter cards here, expansion cards, individual identity cards. So like a Rev and Bjorn and Ariel and all those characters. You'll take the encounter cards and you'll put them, you'll take the encounter cards and you'll put them on the left side like so. You'll take the companions and you'll put them on the bottom here. You'll put the small box here with the items on top. You'll take the location cards and put them on the side. You'll take the characters you're not using and put them on the right. You'll take the, I forget what he's called, but the Guardian character over here. And then you'll take the characters and put them on top like that. And notice how this does rest nicely, kind of on level. Next thing you'll do is you'll take the boards for the characters and put them here. All of the items and put them on the left side like this. You'll take the storybook and put it on top. The book of memories and your player sheets here. You'll take your binder with all your cards here. Take that foam block if you want, and you can put it there. Pencil, like so. You've got your rules on top, and then we close it up. And there we go. We've got our Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Now, this is a fantastic game. I really recommend this one. It's got a little bit of a learning curve here, but I think this is a fun one to jump into and have a great time and enjoy the story. So if you have any questions about organization or anything like that, please let me know. Once again, the biggest two things you'll need for this is a pair of scissors, a small tiny box in order to keep your cards for your items in, and then you can go to the Dollar Tree to pick up a holder for those components. So there's many different options on that case, but you can pick one that works for you. I like that small little wicker basket. Dollar Tree's pretty great for small organizational bits like that for a decent price. Yep, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Side game strong.